This is episode number 21, Do What Makes You Happy. There are going to be times in your life where you must make the choice to follow what makes you truly happy or to choose to constantly be worried about what pleases everyone else. It will probably happen many times in your life where you have to make this decision. Sometimes that decision will be easier than it is other times. But the point is still the same. It may be difficult to go against what others may say will make you happy, but you have to know who you are and what it is that you want, especially what it is that you want out of life, what you want to accomplish, what you want to achieve, what you want your life to look like, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, all the way down the chain. You must have a clear vision. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to a vision, I talk about it a lot in my book, but a vision, you have to commit to a clear vision, and that's chapter 1 of my book. And all that means is knowing what your life looks like on the inside and out and how you want it to look in the future so that you can create this plan, if you will, for your life to attack it and make the most out of it. But other people might claim to know what makes you happy based off of their life experiences, and but where they make the mistake is that they don't know what makes you happy. They don't know your life experiences, your emotions, your decision, your mind, your thought process, anything like that. So everything, if somebody comes to you and they say, you need to do this because I know what's best for you, or it'll be good for you, or whatever, they don't know you. You know you better than anybody else. And for somebody else to come in and tell you how to live your life, let's just say that you act on it, you decide to go and do that, you would just be acting on what will make them happy, not what will make you happy. So remember, you know yourself better than anyone. You know what emotions you're experiencing. You know you. These people don't have the same vision as you might have for yourself, and that's totally fine. I don't want it to seem like these people are bad people because they might truly want what is best for you based off of their own experiences. But you ultimately know yourself better than anybody else, and you need to make the decision for yourself, and nobody else can make that decision. Look deep inside yourself and discover who you truly are. You will discover what is best for you in your life and what matters most to you. Be skeptical of those who try to persuade you, I should say, to do something different, or by saying that, like I said before, I just want what is best for you. These words are okay when it comes to supporting your dream and what it is that you are working towards. So let's just say that for me, if I went to my wife before starting this podcast and I told her, hey, I really want to do this podcast. It'll make me really happy. I want to do everything that I can to spread a positive message and build a community around happiness and love and doing what matters most in somebody's life. If she gave me those words, well, I just want what is best for you or what will make you happy, perfect, great. Those are things that you need to have on board in your life. But if somebody's trying to manipulate you to do what they think will make you happy, you're ultimately just going to do what makes them happy, not what makes you happy. So don't let these people influence your decisions. You could take into account what they're saying just as a thought and consider the option, because you might find out that they say, like, what they're doing might be like, light bulb might go off of bing, or, they're right. Or you might find out, like, I definitely don't want to do that. So don't allow the persuasion to come in and almost strong arm you one way or the other. At this point, you guys might be asking what true happiness looks like. And it might be hard for some people to identify. It definitely was for me at first. I couldn't identify what true happiness was or what it was supposed to look like, because I ultimately thought that the biggest thing for happiness was how many friends I had, how many people I had my arms around, of like, look at how popular I am, or that was probably closer to my high school years. And then there was another point in time where I thought about happiness was about how much money I had in my pocket, how many possessions that I had. And to some people that might make them happy. I don't know, but I could tell you that that may only be part of the equation, is how much, money you have or anything like that, because I know that being completely broke with not a penny to your name might be really hard to be happy when you're in a situation like that, but it is incredibly simple to come back from it. And this is what I believe true happiness looks like. To me, it's taking a leap of faith with an opportunity. When you have an opportunity in front of you and you have the ability to act on it, and even though it might seem risky or completely out of the box for you, taking that leap of faith because you want to do what satisfies you. It's also following your heart and letting that lead you to wherever it may take you. Similar to my podcast example is, I thought, and it's kind of a negative self-talk thing, but I thought right off the bat that the podcast wasn't going to do well at all. I was going to maybe get, 2 downloads from some family members or something, and that was all it was going to be. But I listened to, my heart, spoke to me, and for lack of a better term, I feel this inside me, that this urge that I need to, whether it be through podcasting or my book or something, I don't know, in the future, it might come to me later, but I need to build a community of positivity and happiness and joy and self-help and love, all these things, because I see myself in everything, especially on social media and stuff like that. It's very easy to get consumed in negativity and kind of just being brought down by this heaviness. And it's hard. I see a lot of people out there that aren't happy, and this is what I want to do, and this is what makes me happy. So I don't want it to be like about me. This is just an example that I can relate to and show you guys, but follow your heart and do what makes you happy, because that is going to be what matters most. It's also finding it in yourself to forgive and let go of situations. I know that there's a lot of people that like to hold grudges. I used to be one of those people where I'd always hold a grudge, and it's not healthy. I held a grudge against my dad for a really long time for something that wasn't even totally his fault. It was a joint thing between myself and him, and every time I held that grudge and he knew about it, it continued to drive a wedge between us every single time that we talked about it or even tried to hash out the situation. And eventually we figured it out and were able to move on. But holding a grudge and that's only going to bring you down more and kind of push the happiness away. But if you're able to forgive and let go and just be accepting of life as it is as you move forward and continue to make the most out of every single day, that is another step to what happiness looks like. It's also determining on whether you want to fight for something because you believe it's worth it and will add value to your life rather than subtract. And that could be a multitude of things, like somebody who might want to be a doctor, even though somebody else might be pushing for them not to be. If you believe that you being a doctor is the best way for you to fight for something and to add value to your life or to somebody else's, then fight for it. But you don't want it to be to the degree of where you're doing something because it's, you're adding more to your shoulders because you want to make somebody else happy and you feel like it's going to add value to their life, which I guess the doctor example might have been a bad one because if you're out there saving people, you're adding value to their lives. But if that's what satisfies you as well, that's adding value to your life. Another thing too is it's believing and trusting in yourself. That's probably one of the biggest things that I feel that a lot of people struggle with is believing and trusting themselves to make the right decision. And that's kind of maybe why we rely on other people's opinions so much, is because we don't trust ourselves to make the right decision. But for true happiness, you have to be able to trust yourself. And if you make a mistake or the wrong decision or the wrong move, whatever you want to call it, own it. But don't be afraid to trust yourself and believe in what it is that you're capable of doing, because that's a huge step in being truly happy. It's also being confident and humble. It kind of ties into the last one, but if you're confident in your abilities and what you're capable of doing, you could literally achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I know that's very cliche and typical for somebody to say, but it's true. If you put your mind to anything and you're confident in your abilities to do it, and you're humble about it, of course, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. It's also letting your joy and pleasures guide you throughout life, rather than the other side of it, having the negativity push you through life and guide where you go and what decisions you make. If you let your positivity and happiness guide your decision making, you're going to end up making more decisions that will make you happy. And that's just, it's true. I've lived it myself. I've seen many people who have lived it where they go and they make negative decisions, or they let negativity make those decisions for them, where they have a negative experience or something like that, and then they let that negative experience make the decision for them, rather than keeping an open mind and a positive mind and making the decision based off of that. And lastly, it's living and appreciating every single moment that you're in. And that includes being grateful for being in the moment that you're in, because it's also a very cliche thing, but you could not wake up tomorrow. And I don't want to be like the Debbie Downer about that. All I'm saying is that living in the moment and making the most out of every single moment will ensure that you're being fulfilled and you're being 100% happy. Make the most out of every single moment, and you guys will be happy. Lastly, guys, your importance or your happiness is important, because life can get tough at times, and focusing on what will keep you happy in life, or in every moment of your life, will ensure you live a fulfilled and joyous life. Your future may not always be clear, and your vision may change along the way, but when you make your happiness a priority, you are choosing to live your life and not anyone else's, because that's all you can do. You can only live your life. But don't spend your life trying to fulfill others' needs and wants and desires, especially for you. So if there's anything I want you to take away from this, it's that happiness is a choice. And whatever you find joy in, make sure that it is what guides you when making a decision about yourself for your life. But that's all I have for you guys today. I want you guys to go and check out my website, spencerkeife.com. The show notes will be available at spencerkeife.com/2121. It'll be available there. You guys can read about the show notes that I have here. Watch the video on YouTube if you don't watch already. But you can go check that out there. You can also take a look at my programs that I have for coaching and helping you make the most out of life and maximizing. Go look at those. There's a tab for that. I think it says life coaching or coaching at the top. It's hard for me to remember because I'm always changing it, the words that's on there and the verbiage. But go on there, take a look. If you guys are in need of some truly life-changing stuff and maximizing your life, take a look at those programs. It's a lot of one-on-one time with me directly. It's all one-on-one time with me directly, I should say, but there's different levels of it. And so if you guys really want to kind of dive in deep on a personal level with me and find out what you can do to make the most out of your life, go to my website and take a look at those links. And lastly, guys, share this episode with a friend, especially somebody that you might feel is having a tough time finding happiness in their life. Give them the link on YouTube. Share the podcast with them through your phone or whatever. Just text them the link so that way they can get to the tips and the tricks to finding happiness and knowing what it looks like so that they can identify it once they achieve it. But that's it, guys. I want you guys to go out there, shift gears, and live the most positive, happy, and abundant life you possibly can, and focus on achieving true happiness in your life. You guys can do it. I believe in you. But that's it, guys. Thank you for your time. Have yourselves a wonderful day.